I'm Amanda Shekarchi. I am back with Madeleine Roger, who has a Toronto show at the Burdock Brewery on January 30th. Madeleine, excited to chat with you again.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me once again. It's nice talking with you too.
So, you are kicking off a tour with Campbell Woods. How are you feeling about these shows?
Oh, I'm so excited. It's been a minute since I've done a proper tour that was more than just a week. So it's a 2 week long run and I'm just really excited to dive into these songs and get to check out some new places and also play some familiar rooms that I've been in before, like the Burdock. It's going to be a nice time.
I love it. Yeah, so how did this opportunity come about?
Well, I knew I wanted to come and play some shows in Ontario and Quebec and the northeast of the States because I have a new record, as you know, that came out a couple months ago. And I love the Burdock in Toronto. It's one of my favorite venues to play. It's just the sound is so excellent and it's the perfect size. And I love that it's a real listening room. And so I reached out to my friend Campbell Woods, who's one of my favorite Canadian singer-songwriters, but he hasn't been performing out that much in the last couple years. And I just asked him if he'd be interested in jumping on the Toronto and Ottawa shows with me. And to my great delight, he was happy to make the trip. He's a fairly new dad, so I think leaving where he lives in Smiths Falls and coming over to Toronto is a bit of a jaunt for him, but he's really such a special songwriter. And I'm really excited to hear his songs and also excited that people who are coming to hear my music are going to get this incredible, um, hopefully, if he's new to them, I'm so excited for them to hear his songs.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited for all of this. Like, I've been spending a lot of time exploring different venues, and I haven't been to the Burdock yet, so I'm excited for tomorrow. I always love when you can just have a good intimate show like this.
Yeah, it's great. They've got it seats about I think 90 people. Um, but it's just this small room and it's usually pin drop quiet for singer-songwriter shows, so it's perfect.
This energy is going to be amazing. So, we've been talking off air about how you've been spending some time here in Toronto. What are some of your favorite spots to visit while you're here?
You know what? I really just love walking around like Bloor and Queen. And we don't really have anything like that in Winnipeg, where it's this really never-endingly long street full of shops and cafes and restaurants, and there's just people milling about everywhere. So I honestly love just walking around Toronto and checking out the different uh, cafes and going to different shows. I went to a really great show the other night at oh no, now I'm gonna forget what it's called. Not the Annex, the Transact Club, and it was this
Yes.
yeah, and it was such a cool spot because 'cause they've got 3 venues in there, and each of the little stages within the building had a totally different kind of show going on, and I was at a show that was a solo fiddle player followed by an acoustic folk trio, and it was such a beautiful show, and I just love that there's enough people in Toronto to sort of pack all of these venues every night.
So last time we talked, we did a deep dive into your album Nerve. Another song I wanted to ask you about, but I didn't have time to bring it up last time was Love Only Grows. What is the inspiration behind it?
Love Only Grows is a song that I wrote while I was going through a breakup. So my former partner was is also a singer-songwriter, and we had spent years traveling together, playing music and partnered together, and we realized that our lives were going in different directions, so we decided to part ways, and he moved to the Yukon, and in that breakup process, we were such dear friends and we really were determined to stay friends after our breakup, even though we were, you know, separating our lives. And so part of what we did is we were both writing these songs, processing the breakup and sending them to each other, which is not exactly what I was expecting out of ending the relationship, is we had this sort of like creative outpouring and we found it to be this really beautiful extension into a friendship to actually share. our creative projects that were emerging from what we were both going through. And so that song was one that I wrote for Logan in a lot of ways, just trying to express the ways that the love hadn't gone away. It had just changed shape from one form to another, and how that can sometimes be confusing, but ultimately it felt really beautiful and right to keep loving each other just in a new way.
Wow, that song is one of my favorites. Now it's like now knowing the inspiration behind it, like that's so beautiful. It's like even deeper now to me.
Oh, thanks.
So, I want to talk a little bit about you. How has growing up in a musical family influenced your passion for music?
I think it mostly feels like oxygen to me in some way. Like I've never really gone any amount of time without thinking about music or listening to music or talking about music, because it was just so much a part of our household, and I can't imagine my life without it. So I guess music just feels very essential, and I think most people feel that way in one way or another. I just find that I also am really compelled to make it myself, um, in addition to listening to music all the time.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I saw on Instagram a while back you posted this video promoting your brother's new record that came
Mm.
out. Have you guys collaborated creatively? What would that look like?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. My brother and I actually, for years, we were in a band together. So Lucas is my twin brother, and we were in a band called Roger Roger. And it was the first touring recording project I had ever been a part of. And him and I teamed up because I think we were both a bit afraid of what it would be like to try to tackle this dream of being self-employed artists. And we spent a couple of years. We released a record and we toured around for a couple of years. We did some touring overseas and all across Canada. And somewhere in there, he discovered that he wanted to be a guitar builder. So he stopped touring and built a wood shop and started building and repairing guitars. And that's what he does now. But we still get together sometimes and write new songs and play music just for the hell of it. Uh, and he writes rock music, so he had released a new record of his own songs that just is like they totally rock. And I begged him to let me come and sing backing vocals on his album release show because it's so fun just to like sing loud and dance all over the stage.
Yeah, I love that reel you posted of you guys singing together. That was really fun to listen to.
Thanks.
So now we're going to play a little fun game of rapid fire questions. So I have a couple random questions and yeah, have fun with this. Okay, so first one is favorite movie.
Shaun of the Dead.
Who was your first concert?
Well, I would have been in a car seat, so I don't remember. But the first one that I consciously remember going to is Bill Bourne, who is an Edmonton singer songwriter that I won tickets to in a raffle.
Who are your music influences?
Right now, I would say Anais Mitchell, Waxahachie, and Aoife O'Donovan.
One more fun question. Favorite food?
Ooh, momos, Nepali momos.
Ooh, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Madeline, for being here. Madeline is going on a 2 week tour now, kicking off at the Burdock Brewery on January 30th. And I'm excited to be there. It'll be a fun show.
Yeah, I'm stoked to play. I've got a whole band with me. So there's Stephen Foster on drums, Alan Mackey on bass, and Sam Gleason on electric guitar. So it's gonna be a full fun version of the show.